Dire team pick.
What's up, guys, and welcome back to the SLTV 11th Pro Series. This is going to be a best of 3 between House of Gamers and Scary Faces. This is from the lower bracket, so loser does go home. Winner goes on to the loser's bracket finals to face up against Dota, who, spoiler alert, just lost against London Conspiracy. So the way it stands right now is that there are going to be, well, not including this one, 2 other games, the final and the loser's bracket final. Right now, London Conspiracy are waiting in the finals, and then House of Gamers, Scary Faces, or Dota are going to be going up against them. So this is going to decide a little bit more of that. As it stands right now, Scary Faces just 2-0'd their last round, as did House of Gamers. However, House of Gamers had to go through BBC, had to go through Moscow 5 International, whereas Scary Faces had to go through Kinetic, and they had to go through Doveriet. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that correctly, but certainly House of Gamers had to go through what most people would consider tougher opponents. So they've been playing pretty darn well as of late, and well, they are working with a couple of stand-ins right now. Illusionist, who I don't remember what team he's from, but Grazine definitely from My Insanity, at least last time I checked. I don't know if they've changed anything since then. So House of Gamers have quite a bit of power in their lineup. I'm Michael Larson, going to be your only caster. Coucher had to bail, but that's fine because that means we will just have just as much fun, except spread between, you know, fewer casters. So there's more fun per capita, and it's going to be good, I promise. Disruptor Anti-Mage as the first pick for House of Gamers. Not really the opening that you would expect most of the time. Disruptor, a pretty powerful support here that has impressed me recently. Anti-Mage, grabbing him rather early, is a hero that stands a chance of being banned out in or before the second pick phase is actually underway. But that's only if you make it very clear that you're going to be going for a hard carry, i.e. you pick up 2 support heroes to start off your draft. But Disruptor Anti-Mage is solid enough. I mean, you give the Anti-Mage a little bit of cover, you have a little bit of a mix of offensive capabilities in order to try to get a kill for the Anti-Mage early on. And also Disruptor is just amazing versus Slark. Being able to glimpse him back, or being able to drop Static Storm on him, deny the Shadow Dance, deny the Pounce, that's all good times. Scary Faces, though, they are not going to make it so easy for House of Gamers to get exactly what they want. Omni Knight Slark as the opening for Scary Faces, and well, first of all, Slark is a pick that I do think it should be picked first more often. It's such a powerful hero, and the amount of times you see him banned out in the second phase is just so huge. He's a really powerful hero. He's hard to deal with. He is one that really warps the game, and that's the enemy team needs to pick up very specific kinds of crowd control effects and play in such a way, else they lose against the Slark. Omni Knight as the pick. Most of the time we see Omni Knights being grabbed as core heroes and go to a lane by themselves. So I'm expecting to see Scary Faces move their draft a little bit more towards the, we're going to run an offensive tri-lane, get the Omni Knight a safe lane to farm in, or just have the Omni Knights be a part of that offensive tri-lane and we'll make that happen. Looks like the Shadow Demon pickup, they're maybe going to go in that direction. Shadow Demon most likely going to be setting up for a Mirana. Although there is, of course, a chance of grabbing someone like Alina, Leshrac, and if you get Shadow Demon, Leshrac, Shadow Demon, Leshrac, Lina, and then grab Alina, or put a Slark in there as well, a disruption into a stun, into a pounce, and that's a pretty darn good way of killing off a hero. Maybe not Anti-Mage, but certainly the softer heroes like Disruptor.
10 seconds remaining.
By the way, guys, because it is just me this time, still kind of recovering from illness, and when I was co-casting the last game, I had a chance to mute the mic and, you know, cough and stuff when he was speaking, but that might happen a little bit more this game, so just fair warning. I'll try to prevent it, and if I ever go quiet for a couple seconds, well, that's the explanation there, because I'm a little bit sick, but hopefully it's not going to be too big of an issue. But House of Gamers, they have the Anti-Mage Disruptor, so it is very clear that they want to take this game into more of a later stage. Up against a Slark Omni Knight, though, that is pretty difficult. Omni Knight is pretty darn good versus Anti-Mage. Anti-Mage is not really a hero that's typically comfortable buying a Diffusal Blade or anything like that, and House of Gamers, or Scary Faces rather, also by grabbing that Shadow Demon, are making sure that they keep Demonic Purge out of the hands of House of Gamers, which is also another tool that one can use in order to deal with an Omni Knight pickup. But it is going to be that Lina for Scary Faces, after having been denied that Mirana. I don't know if this was actually their first pick, like if they really wanted Mirana, but they're going to settle for Lina. But ultimately it doesn't really matter, because the way that the combo behaves is going to be more or less unchanged. You set with the Disruption, you hit them with some sort of stun nuke, and then you either Purify to kill, or you pounce and then right click to kill. Either way, you're probably going to get a kill. Maybe Mirana's able to leap out of that. Maybe Anti-Mage is able to survive because of Spell Shield and then blink out of that. But some other heroes are probably not going to be as lucky. So this is a very deadly opening from Scary Faces. The problem of this, of course, is that, well, Shadow Demon can't really disrupt defensively up against Mirana. And these are all heroes that are going to get absolutely wrecked by a Disruptor ultimate, assuming it is a good one, assuming it lands on just a couple of heroes. House of Gamers, the Templar Assassin, a hero to hold down the fort, as you usually need to pick up if you are going to be going for a more late game oriented build with an Anti-Mage. House of Gamers, with the two supports presumably being the Mirana and Disruptor, are able to put some pretty decent work in. And if you have a Templar Assassin just completely go off from the early stages, then Scary Faces, they have the Slark to deal with Templar Assassin. If it is a 1v1 matchup mid, then Slark should feel pretty comfortable there. But House of Gamers, right now what they're really lacking is just a little bit of bulk. Templar Assassin will be able to block some stuff with the Refraction, though Pact does burn through it pretty darn quickly. They are going to be a very fragile team, and they're going to be forced into a position where they are going to be kiting a lot of the time. They have to take run and gun fights, and if the Guardian Angel goes up, there is no chance that House of Gamers are going to be able to sit there and try to throw a couple spells and try to get kills like that. They just have to turn tail and run. It's not necessarily a bad thing to have in your draft. It just forces you to play in a very specific way, and sometimes that specific way of playing just is a little bit too difficult. So House of Gamers need one more hero that's able to fight early, ideally a tankier hero. Kind of liking the Clockwork here. I was also going to say Bat Rider. I swear I was going to say it, guys. I'm not just saying that because I saw it being banned out, but they need some way of initiating fights, because right now they really only have the Mirana. I guess Scary Faces are also kind of low in their ability at starting a fight. Shadow Demon Disruption for very early game fights, but as far as large scale ones, it's going to be more or less a free-for-all. So heroes that could start fights really should be the priority for both sides, although Troll Warlord being banned out by the House of Gamers side, not really a great initiator. Ooh, Bloodseeker.
Team pick.
It's not really a great hero at starting a large-scale fight, but if you catch 2 or 3 people with the Blood Right, if you're able to rupture someone like an Anti-Mage, that damage does go through. He will be very, very damaged whenever he tries to get away from you. And it's actually the second time I've seen the hero. First time worked out decently, but I still don't exactly have a good read on how powerful the Bloodseeker is in these particular games. He certainly does get the job done early on, but I feel like he just falls off a little bit too hard. Like, you're relying mostly on your Blood Right, and if you miss it, then you're going to be screwed. If he does hit it, though, I mean, silence on Mirana, on Anti-Mage, that's huge. If they could get that to land, then House of Gamers are really going to be struggling. But other than that, I'm not entirely sure how well Bloodseeker is going to perform in this game. It seems like they have a good shelf with which Bloodseeker can work. I mean, they have Slark and Lina, both 2 heroes that could drop heroes down very quickly so that the Thirst kicks in, and of course Omni Knight with Repel can mean that Bloodseeker can run in and do whatever the hell he wants and be safe in doing so. It's a reasonable game to pick up Bloodseeker, I feel. And House of Gamers are going to have to be aware of the fact that Bloodseeker's Thirst is going to make them revealed most of the time if they're going to be escaping or juking or something like that. And, well, Anti-Mage, Templar Assassin, Mirana, these are heroes that do rely on jukes. House of Gamers, though, Sand King is going to be their pick. It's going to be the hero that is probably going to be starting a couple of fights here and there. Not sure if they're going to give a little bit of priority farm to the Sand King, which teams don't usually do nowadays. Although I do think it's worthwhile to consider at the very least. He does get a little bit going in the jungle sometimes, but Scary Faces have heroes that can punish a early jungling Sand King. Or a Sand King that hits level 3 and then goes straight to the jungle. But as it stands right now, Mirana looking to be a core hero for the House of Gamers, and it's not really the most impressive core hero to have on your team, especially when you're going up against the Slark, especially when you're going up against a Bloodseeker. But if she does play very aggressively with the help of the Sand King Disruptor, then they can make a lot happen. Anyway, guys, we are in the first game of the series. House of Gamers on the Radiant. They have Grazine standing in for My Insanity. He's going to be playing the Mirana Illusionist. He's also going to be standing in as the Sand King a moment on the support Disruptor with Slash Strike on the mid lane Templar Assassin. That leaves Malum as the off lane Anti-Mage, who's going to start things off with getting disrupted. LSA going to land, Pounce and Purify. Malum has a blink out though. That is a lot of damage coming out from Scary Faces, but just not enough. In fact, Malum, because he got caught out so early, is able to go all the way back to the fountain and juice up. Whereas for Scary Faces, they're now down a little bit of mana. I mean, Shadow Demon's about half. Slark doesn't have the greatest mana pool, and Omni Knight is down a third of his mana as well. So it was a close call. Close call for Malum for sure. But he is going to shrug it off, and pretty much nothing happened. And the end result of that is Scary Faces are down a little bit of mana, so it probably hurt Scary Faces more than it actually helped them, but it's not like they're not going to go for that when it comes to them. But on their end, Scary Faces, they got Shadowy Razor playing the Bloodseeker. Over towards mid, it's going to be State 21's Omni Knight soloing up against that Templar Assassin Quista on the Slark, going to be joined by Eknart's Shadow Demon and Abash's Lina, going to be tri-laning it up down here, and Anti-Mage as the solo laner in this lane is not going to be having a good time at all. As we already saw, they have more than enough power to bring him down very low. As for outright killing him, going to be taking a little bit more work from the Scary Faces side. But Malum, he's going to get maybe a little bit of support from a moment, maybe a little bit of support from the Sand King. But I mean, look at this ward coverage for the Scary Faces side. First of all, there's an Observer Ward that's going to be dewarded by Illusionist, but wherever he goes, he's most likely going to be spotted. Although, actually, the Sentry from the Scary Faces side not really doing too much. Never mind, actually. It just seemed like there was a lot of red in the minimap, but all that red wasn't actually blocking many camps, so Malum, though, is still going to be under a hell of a lot of pressure. He really can't fight back against this lane. He will have a Sand King and a Disruptor who are going to be free to pull, stack, and then eventually Sandstorm clear. So Scary Faces have to both shut down Malum's Anti-Mage, as well as go into the enemy jungle and try to shut down the other heroes as well. Malum's already going to get into a duel with the Bash, dropping Lina very low. Poor man's shield value right there. And this should be a lane that's more or less on lockdown by Scary Faces. Over towards mid, Templar Assassin going toe-to-toe with Omni Knight. I don't believe I've actually seen this matchup before, although Templar Assassin should be A-okay. Her base damage from Refraction is ridiculous, and Omni Knight, his damage is pretty good as well, but Purify is not that good when it's refracted out. So the Templar Assassin, though she is keeping pretty much even with the Omni Knight right now, I expect Slash Strike to pull further and further ahead of this lane. And for Omni Knight, there's not really many other options as to lanes that he could go to gank or anything like that. Omni Knight is not exactly that kind of hero just yet. Maybe bottom lane can make something happen with some pure damage, but not yet. He can't clear Ancients very well. He could clear out small camps of neutrals, but that's about it. So Templar Assassin should have a free time. And up towards the top lane, Shadowy Razor, he's got a Poor Man's Shield and a Quelling Blade, and Grazine is Mirana. So right off the bat, even if Shadowy Razor didn't have those items, he would have an advantage in this lane. Just being able to put the Rage in yourself and get a whole bunch of, I guess I'm going to call it lifesteal from Blood Rage. It's essentially lifesteal. And then you have a base damage advantage already. Mirana is really shitty as far as her right-click damage and animation is concerned. Grazine's not going to have a bad time in this lane, he's just going to struggle to get last hits. And when Malum is also struggling to get last hits, you suddenly have two heroes from House of Gamers who are very poor. Bottom lane, Disruption setup, LSA going to miss, actually. It's pretty hard to miss an LSA setup after Disruption. It's, okay, well, we'll count that as one. It's like, everyone gets one, right? So Bash used his one, he's going to miss it now. Awfully bold of him to choose to use his one very early on in the game. But Anti-Mage, one way or another, is going to be getting his farm on. If I was Anti-Mage right now, man, I would not feel comfortable grabbing 2 points in stats with the blink. I would grab that 1 point in spell shield. Even though Shadow Demon is not doing the most magical damage, Malum is pretty much at the mercy of Slark and Lina, and those two heroes do some pretty decent magic. And spell shield level 1 is actually ridiculous, so he's going to play it a little bit fast and loose as Anti-Mage. He's not going to be punished just yet. In fact, he's doing pretty well for himself on this bottom lane, all things considered. Over towards mid, State is now being zoned out by Slash Strike. Still has quite a few creeps under his belt, but it's going to be fewer and fewer as time progresses. And up towards top, Shadowy Razor, his Blood Rage is turned on. Here comes the level 1 Sand King ganking party with no brown boots. Shadowy Razor, if he is going to get stunned right now, well, he's going to set up the Blood Rights first of all. Everyone's going to dodge that, but he's stuck in a corner right now. And the Burrow Strike, even though it's really bad at level 1, it is going to land. Arrow to follow up. First Blood already claimed in the bottom lane. However, Shadowy Razor going to hit now with stars, and no second star to fall, but that will be his death regardless. Looks like over towards the bottom lane, they finally managed to connect with that entire combo, and Anti-Mage, with the 1 point blink as his only skill, not really having enough in the tank to survive that. He's gone for a blink stat, blink stat build, which is not very oftenly seen. I guess it's nice versus versus amplified damage, like Purification, as well as the Curse from the Shadow Demon. Stats really do well there, but Spell Shield, yeah. See, now Malum is more or less fine in this lane. I don't see him dying any longer unless he gets chipped down beforehand. But either way, it's first blood being drawn by Scary Faces. Who actually drew that blood? It was a Shadow Demon. Okay, a couple right clicks to seal the deal there, and well, Malum is not going to have the best of times, as I previously said. Unfortunately for him, he has Slash Strike, who's having the time of his life. The Omni Knight's keeping up with the Templar Assassin, and once Templar Assassin gets to level 6, that may or may not still be the case. This Templar Assassin has a lot riding on, or House of Gamers have a lot riding on this Templar Assassin, especially if they're going to constantly miss these attempts at Malum's life. He's not going for the mana break. That's justified, I think. Up against the Shadow Demon, you don't want to lose your mana. But other than that, his build is now kind of more on track. This is as burning build as you could possibly get, I suppose. Yeah, Shadow Razor's still up on top lane, still free farming it up, and there's not that much that Mirana can do about this. Illusionist, fortunately for him, is working with 1, 2, 3, 4 stacks of hard camps, and well, even though one of those is a Satyr, he'll clear that out with level 2 Sandstorm awfully quick, and now he's going to start going for his Blink Dagger. As of right now, Scary Faces have almost complete control of all their lanes. However, that will soon enough break as Rupture is picked up by Shadow Razor. Gruzin's going to get silenced on his way out, but he will be just fine. Although, I think that's right. Rupture doesn't have nuke damage anymore. It's kind of upsetting to see. I don't even know who you are anymore, Bloodseeker. I don't even know who you are. Mirana is going to make it out alive, but the scary thing is that you can't really do that every single time. I guess you can do it every single time. You are in a little bit of trouble, but at a certain point, you're just not going to be able to afford TP scrolls anymore if you just go into a lane and teleport out. So Gruzin, he's still going to go up to that top lane, but I don't think there's much that he could do. And this is the price House Gamers are paying for picking up heroes that are really, or tend to be really passive. Really, everyone on their team tends to be a passive hero. Mirana up against the Bloodseeker can't really do too much there. Disruptor, Sand King tend to play the game a little bit slower as well, and well, Malum just can't do anything without help. So this is really costing the House of Gamers a lot of control over this early game, and Scary Faces, they haven't really made any huge gains with the advantage that they have right now, but I'm assuming that is going to be coming up shortly. Slark, as the Power Treads Poor Man's Shield completed, he has all his small basic items already up. Whether he wants to go for a Blink Dagger or not is entirely up to him. It's not going to be the worst pickup in the game. It'll actually be really nice. But I think this was actually a game for Midas Slark. It seems like you don't really want to contest an Anti-Mage in late game, but this Anti-Mage is not going to hit late game for a very, very long time. He's even going to go for a Ring of Regen, so that is not going to build into a Battle Fury anytime soon. Anti-Mage is going to be very poor for most of the game. So still we see the Mirana being forced out of the top lane, has to use TPs every single time, and now Gruzin knows that. He's going to go down towards bottom where there is a Moonlight Shadow ready and waiting. Can they actually make anything happen with this Moonlight Shadow? With no mana break, I don't really see it happening. Maybe Lina dumps her mana pool and then you mana break her right after, but they're going to need to get in real close, and oh man, it seems like Scary Faces, they smell this one coming from a mile away. There's even a sentry here, so Illusionist is going to be spotted. Cursed up, not going to matter too much in the grand scheme of things. But the Moonlight Shadow jig is up. What is not known, though, to Scary Faces is that a moment Gruzin are now in the right side. They know that the Disruptor was around here. They don't know that the Mirana was around here. So the 4 versus 3 advantage might help out House Gamers a lot more than it really should. But not if they can't land any skills. That's going to be a 2-man Burrow Strike off to the side. Epicenter being channeled at Bash. Going to get hit by an arrow. Epicenter still working a little bit. Going to go for Eknart next. And Twist in the meantime is going to try to go for Omen. Star's going to fall. Purify, though, going to keep the Slark alive as Malum can't really do too much. Illusionist will clean his kill up off to the side, making it a 1-for-2 trade and a forced TP from State 21. So I suppose it does still work out for House of Gamers, but when you get the jump on the enemy like that, you expect things to go a little bit better towards your side. It was a really nice Burrow Strike by the Sand King. 3 points in that, landed an Epicenter as well, but there's with not enough follow-up. Malum right now is almost a completely useless hero. Yeah, he did what he can, of course, but with no mana break, you're not doing that much damage, and he held on to his mana void because, again, there were no opportunities for it. Over towards mid, Slash Strike got a little bit of free time because State's leaving of the lane, but now he's in a little bit of trouble. He will meld out, and, well, is he going to just be fine? He needs help right now because, actually, does he need help? It seems like he's going to be here for a very long time. He's going to pop the refraction and then try to book it. He has 2 traps here. He is spotted out with dust. I don't really... Okay, he didn't realize that he had dust. I guess that's the only reasonable explanation there is, I think. Because the dust kind of was on the edge. It was the Shadow Demon who used it. He must have just not realized that he was dusted and wasn't looking at his status bar or whatever and got punished for it. So either way, Slash Strike is going to get killed off over towards mid. Took down a tier 1 tower though, and the Templar Assassin does do quite a bit of damage with refraction. Usually you don't expect TAs to take towers that early, as usually they're more concerned with killing off heroes. Usually if you get into a team fight down towards bottom like the one that we already saw, Templar Assassin will be the first one to teleport in, but not the case in this game. Oh, Malin getting hit with a blind LSA. Now Dragon Slave will get the kill. Oh, but he'll hold on to it. Malin's going to live. He is spotted out, though. Here comes the Bloodseeker or a Bash. Just use one more right click. Dragon Slave will get the kill in the end. But now here comes the moment. Has a glimpse, and he will land it onto a Bash, bringing him right back into tower range. Grazine is here as well with some stars if needed, and won't even be so. Arrow going to fly into Quista. Will not connect either as Eknart tries to make his escape from the back end. He will do so. 1-for-1 trade down towards bottom. But losing your anti-mage, though, so killer. And House of Gamers, they're really just not taking care of their anti-mage at all. And there are some heroes that you could leave to your own devices that are, you know, typically regarded as carry heroes, and they'll be fine. Like a Medusa up against certain lanes can hold her own, but anti-mage is just not one of those heroes, especially up against a Shadow Demon, where he is not going to be going for any sort of mana break build, else he ends up burning more of his own mana than of the enemy's. It's not a good time for House of Gamers to be on this bottom lane, and they're so far making no efforts at changing that. Slash Strike getting hit with the Rupture. The Bash sees him right now, going to try to get to the high ground. Moonlight Shadow is there, and Slash Strike getting hit with the LSA. Refracted, though. Bloodright also will be refracted, as will Dragon Slave. He's going to turn around and fight 1-2 shots onto a Bash. Still bleeding out, Templar Assassin, and the dust is forced out, but that's a Rupture and dust use. Templar Assassin going to be A-okay.
Top tower is under
up towards top. And this lead from Scary Faces 4-4, not too huge in the net worth. And the XP earned is actually in favor of House of Gamers. Even though the lanes are going well for them, last hits denies not going well for the House of Gamers side. The fact that Sand King cleared off a giant stack, and not just one, but a couple of giant stacks, means that he himself is keeping the House of Gamers side in as far as the net worth is concerned. Now, this is both good and bad. It's good in that, well, you have a Sand King with a Blink Dagger, and it's 12 minutes in, and he has Arcane Boots as well. That's the good part. The bad part is that if he doesn't do anything with it, you essentially have a 4v5 on your hands, and Sand King needs to be getting action done with this item. You already used it. Did he already use it once? Did he use it for the Burst Strike over here? I don't think he did. But either way, he's going to have to use it right now because Scary Faces, they're setting up for a kill on Malum down towards bottom. Or at least a massive team fight. They have all their heroes here. TP check, Grazine has his. Templar Assassin has hers as well. So it's going to be Quista to lead the charge. He really wants his tower fortifications there. He's going to blink forward. A moment is now spotted out. Has a Static Storm. Will drop it onto Quista, which will do a little bit of damage to the Slark. But now with the Repel, he's going to be able to walk right through it. Here comes Slash Strike. Illusionist should be prepping that epicenter. There it is. Blink forward. How good is the Burst Strike going to be? It's going to land onto 2, killing off State and a Bash. Well, he's still just fine. He's going to throw out the Laguna Blade, killing off a Templar Assassin. Quista going to try to go for the tower. Star's going to miss because the Shadow Dance fortification is there. Eknart and Shadow Eraser in the meantime going to kill off the anti-mage and get the tower kill on the way out as well. And now Scary Face is going to disperse in every which direction. Eknart is going to die to Grazine in the end, making it so that Scary Faces only take a slight lead overall in a 2-for-3 trade, but they also take down the tower. House of Gamers, the epicenter was, I mean, it could have had 3 in theory, like in Magic Christmas Land. You just, you know, blink forward and then you Burst Strike this way or something like that. But either way, House of Gamers just don't have enough heroes that could fight right now. Templar Assassin is really all the power that House of Gamers have, and she isn't really even doing that well. Like, she has Yasha phase, which is perfectly reasonable, but this is a hero that usually requires snowballing or a Hand of Midas to really get going, and so far neither of those two things have gone well for her. Quista in the mid lane, though, trying to go for Grazine, does not see the Sand King coming and pays for it with his life. It's a nice pick-off for the House of Gamers side to have. But Scary Faces, they have so many heroes that can fight in the Omni Knight. With the Blink Dagger, didn't even use GA. Slark, of course, is A-okay jumping in at this stage in the game, and Bloodseeker, that's just what he does. Now with the Yule Scepter, he's able to set up rights all by himself, even though it wasn't really a problem before. They're going to try to go for Slash Strike up towards top, and Slash Strike has to leave, like, right now. He's going to set up some traps, think he's safe. See Shadowy Razor. Oh, no, does he? No, he doesn't. Okay, now he's going to get Ruptured. He's going to get Moonlight Shadowed. He's going to block a lot of those skills, actually. He's still invisible. There's the dust. Okay, now he's dead. Here comes Arrow, which will miss. And wow, this Templar Assassin just hasn't had an impact on this game at all. She just, wherever she goes, she's being hunted, and it seems like Slash Strike just not aware of the true sight status of Scary Faces. And that's really not a good place to be. And now up on the top lane, push is going to occur, and a moment, maybe hopefully for him this time, he'll be able to get a little bit more action in the fight before he dies. But up against the Blinking Slark, it's just so difficult to get done. Illusionist just needs 10 seconds, and he'll have his Blink Dagger Epicenter up. He's buying a little bit of time for Anti-Mage to go for a little bit of farm, but he's still not going to be a factor in this game for a very, very long time. Quista going to make initiation onto Grazine. Stackstorm is there, immediately responds, and Quista purified up. He's going to survive for a little while longer, but he will go down in the end. Now here comes the Epicenter. The Burrow Strike will miss, though. How do you miss a Burrow Strike like that? Moment has a glimpse. He can't cast it, though, on the repelled target. We'll go for a Bash or Eknart, or maybe even both. It's going to be Eknart to get caught in the kinetic field, though Disruption will save him a little bit of time. The Rights gets dropped, which will connect onto Illusionist. No more Sandstorm for him. And now he's spotted out by the third. Slash Strike once more, though. He sees the Courier. He's going to think about it, but instead gets sidetracked, and now it's going to be going towards Eknart. Bloodseeker, in the meantime, is going to claim one kill. Now turn around, going for Slash Strike. This is not a fight that Shadow Razor wants to fight. He's going to get the Yule Scepter up into the air. He's going to fall right into the TA. No, she can't get the right click out. 4 stacks. No, Slash Strike is going to be just fine, actually bottling up in the meantime, but Quista's returning to this fight, will burn through the Fraction Shield immediately, and Templar Assassin will get pounced down. Here comes State, taking Hour to the grill, but he's going to be fine. Going to put the repel onto Quista, chasing down for a moment. Another Blink forward Purify, and Scary Faces take a massively one team fight up towards top. Mostly, I mean, it went pretty poorly. Sand King, Epicenter, Burst Strike pretty much did no damage, if not actually doing no damage, because he missed a Burrow Strike from that range. I don't know how you do that again, but it happened. That would have gotten a kill for sure on State with a Burrow Strike and Epicenter already prepped. But 9-12, and Scary Faces, they're slowly but surely accruing more and more of a lead in this game. And House Gamers have a nice jump on the Slark. They kill him off in a hurry, but just running out of gas after that, and they can't afford to fight right now. This is the weakness of their draft, is that they have an Anti-Mage to work with, and usually in situations like this, Anti-Mage would be near the top of the network chart, or at least getting a Battle Fury soon enough. That's certainly not the case. Quista, now trapped in a kinetic field, will get repelled out from the outskirts. They can take an hour in the meantime, though. Slash Strike going to go to town on him, try to take down this Omnet. Looks like he will die. Now they're going to go for a Moment in response, though. Moment is going to fall in exchange, and Anti-Mage also died solo to the Bloodseeker down towards bottom. House of Gamers are fighting 4v5, and they're just not able to get anything done. And it's not even like their fault, it's 4v5. What could they really do about this situation? They can't really do anything. Bloodseeker's able to kill off the Anti-Mage so very easily, and really anyone so very easily, and well, House of Gamers, they're just scrambling for any sort of response right now. They need bigger items on their heroes. They need Anti-Mage to get online. If they turtle it out, then the Bloodseeker will eventually fall off, since he's going for what looks like more of a utility build, which is more or less standard. I haven't really seen that many pure damage builds from Bloodseekers. It's all about that early game, yeah. Utility, Blade Mail, Yule Scepter, pretty standard stuff there. Very Clockwork-esque, actually, in how he builds. But they'll have him fall off. Slark is still getting quite a bit, although he's not actually accruing that much gold, mostly because he's been dying a couple times. Omnite does fall off as well. Still provides a hell of a lot of utility, but that's about it. So Scary Faces late game is not really where they're going to make it happen. They're going to go for Shadowy Razor to start things off. They have a glimpse, and it will most likely be dodged by Yule Scepter. So Malum is going to be waiting for... Wait, doesn't he go over here? Where did he go? How did he get down there? I don't know, but he's going to get purified anyway. Illusionist for the Burst Strike is going to die to Shadowy Razor. Now State can take a lot of damage as well. Has the Guardian Angel, will use it. No more magic damage coming out from these heroes, and Malum is also going to get ruptured. A Bash, though, going to take an arrow to the noggin, will go down. Rights on the floor. Malum trying to TP out. Should be fine. Purify, though, going to get the kill right before he's able to TP out, and Grazine is also silenced up. He's going to try to turn around and fight to the death, but he will go down in the end. A Moment is also going to leave. Slash Strike setting up for a kill on someone, but someone on Scary Faces spotted that out, and they know exactly what he's doing. It's like they keep on trying to make action happen with this Anti-Mage, but it keeps on getting turned around because State is always there with that Purify, and this Anti-Mage is getting nothing. Like, he's actually just like on the bottom of the net worth chart. That's the exact opposite of where the Anti-Mage would really like to be right now. And oh no, Disruptor, what are you doing there? You're not supposed to be there. Oh my god, that did a lot of damage. Yeah, that's a dead Disruptor right there. 18-11 right now, and Scary Face is holding strong onto this game. Maybe in deciding to go for Slash Strike, although Melda's there. Can't really easily find that Templar Assassin. This is not looking that good. It was first of all, like, not looking that great for House of Gamers, but it wasn't actually that terrible because they were getting so much farm, but now they're not getting either. They're losing kills, they're bleeding out, and they're not farming as fast as Scary Faces either. As long as Scary Faces keep up with this pressure, then House of Gamers will find themselves very quickly in a corner, and they're going to try to turtle and try to do their best as far as that is concerned, but it's going to be a very big hole to climb out of, if they can climb out of it at all. Up towards the top, Scary Face is going to claim this tower. Very easy pickings there. And hell, they could even go forward for more. I mean, the most deadly thing is the epicenter combo from Illusionist, but if that doesn't land, then, well, Scary Faces don't really have that much to worry about, especially if their Omniite is on the outskirts, and he will be because he has a Blink Dagger. They'll blink into a Repel or Purify or GA.
Middle tower is under attack.
Or just, you know, get Aghanims and then GA. And then House of Gamers don't really have any damage follow-up, like, at all. It's bad times for House of Gamers, and for Scary Faces, they're going to keep up the pressure. Smoke up now. They got the Laguna Blade prepped and ready. They have Shadow Razor, who could do, you know, pretty much solo anyone. Quista's going to blow the smoke for himself. He just wants to get a little bit more farm. But Anti-Mage is going for the 20 minutes Power Treads Vlad's build, and he might die. Actually, no, Shadow Razor is going to find a moment. There's the Rupture, there's the Blood Right, and we're going to clear himself of the rights, but the TP probably isn't going to work. Yeah, he's going to fall into nothing, actually, because the Bash misses again. But that's one kill, now going to go for another Slash Strike. Has no chance here. House of Gamers are just falling apart, and I mean, they weren't actually together to begin with. They chose super greedy lanes, and they really got punished, and we're seeing the impacts of that right now. Fortunately for House of Gamers, they haven't lost too many towers, so they still have, you know, reasonable shots at defending with the epicenter. They have a reasonable chance of getting Malum to the late game. But outside of that, it's all Scary Faces' game. They have Roshan as an option for them, however, Roshan with their draft is actually pretty hard. They don't really have any great Roshan killers, and that's probably not going to happen for a very long time, but as long as they keep hunting for kills, they'll be fine. At the very least, keeping Malum off the creep wave. 5 deaths in the Anti-Mage. It's a disappointing game to see from Malum, as Slark is just, you know, handling business every lane he goes to. And House of Gamers, I mean, they're not actually making a play for anything. I would be really surprised to see them pass the river. If they do, then they're just guaranteed to die. And it's going to be Scary Faces now roaming with 2 supports. Looking to set up, Disruption is there, but Mirana with the leap is going to keep herself safe. And Scary Faces, what's going to be their next objective? They're farming still for an Omni-Knight Aghanims. Quista's going for a straight Eye of Scotty rush, it looks like. Bloodseeker, unless he wants to go for some damage, isn't going to get any huge leaps of power. The level 16 Bloodseeker is really all you could hope for at this stage of the game. Malum. Well, he's on the bottom lane playing games with Quista. That's a dangerous game to play just to start things off, but the support is coming here from Scary Faces. If a Blood Right lands, there's Rupture. Oh my, what? Okay. Now, Rupture is a very good skill when the enemy decides to do that. Like, I didn't realize Rupture would do that much damage. Like, I know blinking and Rupture and leaping and Rupture is not a good idea, but I don't think it's like 1,000 damage a good idea. It's true damage also, or pure damage, whatever it's called now, pure damage. So, yeah, Anti-Mage just 100 to 0'd himself. That just happened. That was pretty sweet to see. Hopefully for Anti-Mage's sake, he doesn't have to experience that again, but my god. You would think that, like, blinking, I don't exactly know how Blink works. Does he learn the value of being elusive? Okay, that doesn't tell me anything. I would assume it, like, creates a portal that he goes through, and then he, like, comes out the other side. You know, like, you just, like, portal. So, like, he doesn't actually move that far, but for whatever reason, Bloodseeker Rupture works through it. Don't ask me why. It's just how it works. And that got the kill, so whatever works is what you should be doing. Gem on Illusionist to try to get a little bit of map control back. It's going to be a nice attempt for sure, but now Scary Faces know exactly where their enemies are. Quista going forward will get caught in the kinetic field, slowed down for now. It's going to be Shadow Razor with the Rupture prepped and ready, and Malum, well, he only has 900 HP, so maybe that's why he died so easily. Is there a Rupture? Oh, no, there isn't, but Quista jumping forward for more. He's in a the tower, so you should probably get out of here.
Dire's top tower is under
Blood Rights
attack.
is there. Illusionist going to blink out of there. Quista's going to jump forward. Gets silenced. He's in the Static Storm. No repel this time from State, and he's going to pop the GA, which is Aghanim right now. LSA going to miss. State is still taking quite a bit of damage. Got purged off by Grazine. That's going to be the anti-mage trade for Omni Knight. At this point, totally worth it for House of Gamers to make that trade. Shadow Razor trying to get onto whoever he can, but instead going to decide to teleport as the epicenter is going to be used onto Ekdart. That will get the kill there. Slash Strike still fighting up against this Bloodseeker. Bloodright will fly out, and Shadow Razor will most likely take a fall to this TA. Yes, it will. That's going to be a 4-for-2 trade now for House of Gamers. And Scary Faces making a crucial error of thinking they're a little bit more ahead than they really are. Diving a tier 2 tower like that, using Blood Rights on just the Sand King, who has Blink ready, is going to see the giant circle appear at his feet, is just going to blink out of there, or Burrow Strike out of there, or get out of there one way or another. Without that giant AoE silence, without the Omni Knight in position to help out the Slark, who also just jumped in wildly. Really, really bad fight from Scary Faces to take there. There was nothing good to be gained from there. I mean, why dive all of this when you could just go as a team and then just, you know, just go. Just kill the tower. That seems pretty easy to me. But instead they decided to make it really complicated with no creep support, with spread out Omni Knight support, no GA. I don't know if the GA would have saved Slark there. It is Aghanim'd. You don't really want to use GA just to save one guy though. Especially when there's no guarantee it'll save him. So I think that's probably the right call not to use it. But, man, that GA didn't really do anything. With this Dispel on the Mirana. Grazine making sure that things don't stick on this Scary Faces side. Scary Faces, though, they are getting an Eye of Scotty and the Slark. If he keeps making suicidal plays like that, he's not going to be lasting very long in these fights.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
26 minutes into the game, still no one attempting Roshan just yet.
Blessings.
The Scary Faces still have quite a net worth lead right now. If House of Gamers keep on you know, taking advantage of Scary Faces' bad decision making, then it'll be pretty easy for House of Gamers to come back into this. Templar Assassin now packing a Desolator. Maybe the Anti-Mage is going to get a damage item eventually. Come an hour, 40 minutes, you know, we'll have Malum with a Battle Fury, maybe. I hope for his sake, because an Anti-Mage with no items is a sad, sad hero, guys. You have no idea. Or maybe you do have an idea. Either way, this is going like for the slowest Anti-Mage build possible. And House of Gamers need to get to like 45 minutes, or a Battle Fury within the next 10. And that is not going to happen. I mean, he has actually double swords. I didn't realize that he had that. Okay, so double sword on Malum, not too terrible. But still not good either, when he could blink and kill himself with Rupture. Mid lane's going to be pushed, and there's not much that House of Gamers can do about this, because they're already repelled up. No trades in sight either for the House of Gamers side. They're just farming. This is actually just going to be a farming game. And lucky me, I get to cast this all by myself. They're good long games. Like game 1 of the previous set on a conspiracy game versus Duza. That was a good long game, because there was stuff happening. But this is just one of those games where it's just farming. And no one likes to watch farming. No one. Like, actually no one. But maybe we won't have to watch farming for much longer. Because Scary Faces, they're smoking up, and they are looking for the Anti-Mage. The Anti-Mage is nowhere nearby. He's up towards top. But they will, of course, settle for whoever they can get their hands on. Who's it going to be? Well, they're going to go through jungle, realize no one's there. Maybe they find Slash Strike.
Haste.
And yeah, they see Slash Strike. Okay, so Shadow Razor already raged up. Here comes the pain train. Choo choo. Slash Strike is going to get Yule's. Bloodright. Rupture is waiting for her when she arrives. Silence is going to go up against that Refraction Shield, and Templar Assassin is going to be fine for now, but not for much longer. He's going to turn around and fight, but do a lot more damage to herself and the Blade Mail than to anyone else, really. Now we're going to fly into Quista. Ancient's helping out there as well, but that's not going to do nearly enough. House of Gamers, they're just not doing anything in this game. Like, they're actually just not doing anything. They're pretty much at the mercy of Scary Faces. No matter what happens, that is not a good place to be in. Nothing that they could get is really going to break this either. They're just going to try to pray for the long game. Oh, man. So, Mirana going for the 30-minute Midas build. I guess it kind of makes sense since they were already on this plan for a very long time now. Might as well just go all in on the late game plan and hope to God that you get there. But the way Scary Faces are playing, just rotating around, always making nice pickoffs happen.
Healing and harm.
Doesn't seem like that there's much that House of Gamers can do to stop them. And when you're running this like money race kind of thing, then usually the team with more killing potential is going to come out ahead, especially when Quista and Bloodseeker are going to go for Malum. You can blink out of there. Yeah, go ahead, blink. It'll be fine, Malum. What could possibly go wrong if you blink out of the Rupture? Absolutely nothing. It's difficult to watch, guys. Difficult to watch. He's not getting anything. He had one part of Perseverance completed. That's about it. And the problem for Scary Faces right now is that they're not actually going for any sort of pushing, which eventually is something they have to do, but it seems like they have bigger priorities right now. I mean, they're kind of okay with dragging it late just because Slark is getting so many kills. Even Lena's getting pretty big. But the late game of Scary Faces is not really the late game of House of Gamers. Like, the late game of Scary Faces is standard late game. The late game of House of Gamers is like, you know, hour and a half late game. Or maybe not hour and a half. Maybe, you know, closer to 70 minutes. We'll say that. But it's going to be Roshan finally cleared out by Scary Faces. No response from House of Gamers. And well, there's not much that they can do about this in this situation. Just sit there and watch as they now have to face up against a Slark with a double life. And they've had a lot of difficulty in the past killing him off once. Now he has an Eagle Song as well. Killing off twice is not going to happen. And Malum, all he wants is Battle Fury. 30-minute Battle Fury. Maybe now his farm can pick up a little bit. It's 30 minutes. 8,290. We'll see if he could actually ever get to the top of the net worth chart. It's a lot to ask for, it really is, but Anti-Mage is a hero that can do it, unless he gets caught by a Rupture. Oh, that was close. So he was in the tree line, and then he, you know, Bloodseeker ran the other way. Malum, if he gets spotted right now, he's just dead. Like, if he gets Ruptured, he's screwed. Uh-oh. They see him. Everyone turns around and runs. Wild Goose Chase. You're probably not going to find the Anti-Mage, especially when he's in his base. Then you're definitely not going to find him. But anyway, right now, 15 to 25, and oh man, there's actually not much to say about this game. They're just farming, and Scary Faces, they're getting a couple kills here and there. I'm pretty sure it's enough kills to represent a decent shot at the late game, unless, oh, Arrow just barely missing Quista. I think they actually did see the Slark, but Slash Strike I don't think is powerful enough to duel the Slark right now. Here comes the Sand King, Bro Strike helping out. Rupture is there. Blood Frights will connect on Slash Strike at the very least. BKB is there, but the Rupture's still bleeding out, and that'll be the kill of the Templar Assassin. Now to Grazine, leap canceled midway by Pounce, and Quista actually not hitting the Mirana because I think the invisibility kicked in, just making it a pick off on the Templar Assassin, but still the Aegis is intact. And still Scary Faces are going to go for more Shadow Razor. Looking for someone. Instead we'll just clear the creeps. That's fine too. Bottom lane push. I think it's about that time. Guardian Angel still there. Almost a refreshed Guardian Angel as well. And Scary Faces, they don't have any pushing heroes, but they'll just do it slow and steady. House of Gamers have to make some sort of defense here, or else this practice is going to die. And that defense is mostly in the hands of the Sand King, actually. Forward, Quista looking for the Mirana, will miss the pounce this time. Can take a couple of right clicks, but really Purify Repel, he's in no trouble. Huge zoning tool and the Blood Rights as well. Tower down, Rax down. Really? This is such an anticlimactic game. I mean, they even have the Aegis, so even if they do lose Quista once somehow, and I don't even know how it's going to happen, they'll be fine to keep on fighting. Slark is a great hero with Aegis. No huge difference between his first life and second. Grazine going to get ruptured. Oh, don't leap that. Oh, God. Oh. It seems like House of Gamers just don't know how to play against Bloodseeker. You don't leap against Bloodseeker, guys. And, well, this is going to reinitiate onto Slash Strike. Dust is going to flow, but it's not going to connect onto the correct hero. Going to Disruptor up into the air first of all, as Quista still trying to go for Slash Strike. Stealing a lot of agility right now. He really wants to use his Aegis. and he really wants to pick up his butterfly, which he will do, going to Grazine, now into Illusionist. 1, 2, 3, 4 hits, not quite gonna do it. One more hit, there it is, and a gem in the base. Go for Slash Strike as well, why not? Dive the base, dive the fountain, dive as far as you possibly humanly can, and get Malum on his way in as well.
Is under attack.
So, is it GG? Like, you just dove your fountain. Of course it is with Guardian Angel. Oh, Glimpse back, someone's going not to the fountain. Quista's gonna actually fight Malum. Mana Void being used for the first time, doing nothing. And even if it did do something, Quista would have a double life. This game feels over. Like, before then it was just bubbling under the surface of Scary Faces getting further and further ahead. But now being a racks up, House of Gamers, they have a Battle Fear Anti-Mage, so in theory they could clear fast enough. It glimpse back onto the Lina, but that's an expensive glimpse. That's not something you want to do every day. Quista's still farming up heroes, and well, fortunately for House of Gamers, they have tier 2 towers up still. I don't really know how long those tier 2 towers are going to last, and it looks like the answer is not long. But they're not completely dead yet. They still have the late game dream if they take a couple of miraculous fights, and by a couple I mean like 4. And Scary Faces, they have an Eye of Scotty on the Bloodseeker. Man, he's difficult to kill. He's moving very, very quickly, with no thirst up, of course. Moving even faster when he does have thirst. And they still have the Aegis. Why not go for more, Scary Faces? Why not go for more? Top lane should look pretty easy. Taking down a tier 2 is easy picking at this stage in the game for the Scary Faces side. And Anti-Mage, he's gained 3,000 gold in 4 minutes. That's not bad. His Anti-Mage, he's kicking in, kind of. But it might be a little bit too late, because he's already a racks down. And Scary Faces, they are just constricting the map right now. Of course, bottom lane is going to be doing that by itself, but over in mid and over towards top, they're just going around clearing out everything and looking for someone to rupture. Shadow Razor now with Sanjin Yasha and Eye of Scotty. My god, this guy's big. 2,600 Gs, close to the top of the net worth chart. Of course, Slark is leading the way there. The Butterfly and Basher ready. Illusionist, you don't really want to be here. Uh-oh. Okay. Illusionist, you better get the hell out of there. They know exactly where he is. Shadow Poison, Disrupt him, no True Sight. Don't go there, Shouting, what you doing? By the way, they don't get the kill, but if House Gamers want to fight here, it will not lead to good things. Quista's going to take the bullet for his Omni-Knight friend. Now Guardian Angel is up. Slash Strike just has a TP out of there. Basher, not on the Bloodseeker yet. They're going to instead go for Grazine, won't find him either. They'll find a moment. Laguna Blade was 100% completely unnecessary there, but they got the kill, that's fine. And now the tier 2 tower is going to fall as well. Scary Face is going to go for more and more and more, and House Gamers can do nothing but watch.
Radiant's top tower
I guess they did pull out the Guardian Angel there, and does have a really long cooldown, though it is refreshable right now from Omni-Knight. You can't actually get the refresher orb to his person fast enough. Do they even need Guardian Angel to fight? I don't think they do. Like, as long as State plays his distances, as long as he's able to get the Repel and Purify out at all on anyone, he'll be fine. Or if he could just keep it on Quista, that'll also be good. Like, this Slark is not going to die to physical damage because he has Eye of Scotty and Butterfly, and he's not going to die to magical damage because he's repelled. So if you can't kill him with physical or magical, you're probably not going to kill him at all. And now it's going to be top lane, slow push. Or maybe not that slow push. Blood Right's going to connect onto Illusionist. They see him, or someone's pinging that they see him. Ignart, oh, now definitely sees him. And Shadow Razor going to get the rupture onto Illusionist, though that will almost kill him because he decides to blink. And now he's Sandstormed. They know exactly where he is right now, but once again, it's True Sight problems. Quista going to actually take a lot of damage right now. He's dying very, very quickly, and he will take a fall right now. Sand King for the Slark, not a good trade, and another big hit from Slash Strike. He's just going to town with that BKB. Shadow Razor going to turn around, try to go for Slash Strike right now, and well, he's going to land into a whole pile of heroes. However, Purify will keep him up alive. Now going to go for Grazine. And Grazine throwing the arrow, which will connect onto the Repel. Moment going to try to TP out in his own base. That's not going to work either. Now Guardian Angel refresh and back up. Slash Strike going to take a fall. Also, triple kill for Shadowy Razor. Anti-Mage, TA, Disruptor, all back into this fight. But what could they really do right now? I don't really know. They're going to try to do what they can. State going to repel himself away from that glimpse. And although House of Gamers, they don't lose any structures, they still take a massively lost team fight. At least they pick off the Slark. Like, they catch him in the Static Storm, no repel up on the Slark, and they also have TA just working away at him, who apparently didn't miss at all, so I guess that's kind of nice if you're TA and you don't miss. But outside of that, Scary Faces still take a decent team fight. Force out 3 buybacks, which of course means the next time they make that push, it's going to be a lot more decisive in their favor, assuming House of Gamers don't pick up anything huge. HMH has a Manta style up right now. I mean, that's not bad farm for Malum. A little bit too late, but it's not bad. And Roshan is also going to be up in a minute. I mean, these are just, everything's going right for Scary Faces, and it's not just like things are going right for them coincidentally. They're making it so that everything's going right. And House of Gamers is kind of helping out by giving Scary Faces very easy lanes. Right now, House of Gamers, they still are on the same plan. Farm and try to get to late game. The Hand of Midas pick up a Mirana has so far led to absolutely nothing. I think she had to buy back. Yeah, she did have to buy back with it. So, Hand of Midas for buyback, not really what you want to be doing with the item. You want to be getting big items, and those big items are not there yet. They're going to smoke up, look for a bash. However, he has the gem. Is there any true side here for House of Gamers? It really isn't, but Quista's going to get caught. The Burrow Strike has no help from the Omnight just yet. No Guardian Angels are here. Quista needs help from the bubble. He's not going to get that either. Lina's going to pick off the Disruptor in the meantime. Here comes State, but he's a little bit too late to help out. Man, all these defensive skills available for Scary Faces, but not actually in range to cast any of them. That's rough to see. If they had a bubble there, if they had a repel or a purify, anything would have saved that Slark there. But no, a little bit too far away, and that's what happens when you get too overconfident. You make mistakes, you get sloppy. Happens to everyone. And there's not... You just have to keep your head on straight whenever you're this far ahead. Go for Illusionist, that's also a good way to go. Purification wasn't going to do anything there ever, so that's interesting. Now, I realize I'm sounding pretty bored right now, but this is actually a really boring game. Like, Scary Faces have 1 racks up. House of Gamers, they're not changing their game plan at all. They're looking into their own jungle to find kills, and that's never a good place to be. And Scary Faces, I don't think they should be changing their tactics up either. It's clearly working out for them being a racks up. They just have to actually go look for a way to end this game now. Roshan is probably going to be that end, or be that method. Whether or not it's going to work, that's a different question entirely, but that represents their best bet at actually getting a shot to end this game. And Roshan will now respond, known to by the House of Gamers side. Blink, Desolator, Templar Assassin, pretty dangerous right now, and their Roshan pit fight is actually pretty good. But only if they actually are able to get in there and take Roshan, because Quista's already starting. And House of Gamers, they have an arrow to scout this out, maybe. And there's the Moonlight Shadow. So here we go. If House of Gamers can crash this Roshan, then, well, it's not going to happen, first of all, since Roshan is no longer being attempted. Up to the high ground they go. Arrow might connect, but even if it does, I mean, it's 1 kill. That's not quite good enough. Moonlight Shadow is now over, and Scary Faces, yeah, they're just going to go right back into the Roshan pit. The Bash, he's like so bold right now because he's a BKB Yule Scepter. Actually in no trouble. Whereas Quista and State just right back into the Roche pit, and Shadow Razor is going to... Could you even call that dodge or Burrow Strike? He's going to get into a fight right now. Bloodright's on the floor, mostly to zone out everyone else. Guardian Angel is there, kind of bad one. It will go for a moment, bring the Disruptor down in a hurry, gets the Static Storm off, it will do absolutely nothing. Now Bash looking for a target right now. Yule Scepter available, won't find it.
Radiant's top barracks are
Top
under
lane's in full
attack.
breach. That means House Gamers have to back up. Means a free Roshan for Scary Faces. And they will kick this one down really easily.
Roshan has fallen to the die.
Aegis the Immortal for Quista. Double life on Slark once again. They brought him down once recently, but that was that's not going to happen again with this Aegis. So Scary Faces, they have a Refresher Orb available. They're probably going to wait 2 minutes until Omnight gets his GA back naturally, and then wait for double. I don't really think this is one of those games where you need to use your Refresher Orb for 100% uptime. You generally just want to take a double, and especially when you're this far ahead, just take a double ultimate, and then just win the game off of it. And go for Malum at the same time, that's good too. Yule Scepter, I think, was a mistake there, but Malum is screwed anyway.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
And that's that. Anti-Mage has to buy back, or his team has to fight without him. And at this point, he's actually a decent threat. But if you buy back right now, you're basically conceding the game. You need items for late game. Quista's going to start things off just by taking a couple hits on the tower. Maybe Scary Faces would be better off going up towards the top lane and trying to take down that set of Raxes. But for right now, they're in no rush. They have the numbers advantage all across the map. Bottom lane pushing towards Scary Faces' side, but that just means that there's one fewer hero to be pushing the mid lane back. And are they going to slide up top? Yes, they are. Quista's going to get that done immediately. And Slash Strike jumping in for a meld hit won't do anything. I think he missed. Shadow Razor going to set up for a Blood Right onto a Moat. Will connect onto that. Laguna Blade to finish the kill. That's Disruptor down and Anti-Mage down now. Shadow Razor zoning out everyone just by himself as Quista takes down the rest of the Raxes. He's actually going to change his mind, jump forward for Grazine. In the meantime, Epicenter can do a little bit of damage to the Bloodseeker, but definitely not enough as Quista's going to town on everyone else. Illusionist is now all alone. He's going to take a fall also. Slash Strike Quista dueling up, not being won by Slash Strike. He's going to get another target in state, but that's not going to work out either. Burst Strike there will not connect. Arrow will connect to Quista. Blood Rights though, going to silence 2. GA now up. Illusionist is going to die to a Dragon Slave. No buyback just yet from House of Gamers. Blink forward, looking for a Mana Void on state. That will kill him, I think. No, not quite, but it will end up killing him. But, I mean, you kill off the Omnite. Big freaking whoop. You might kill off the Slark's Aegis too. No one really cares because top lane Raxes are down. And now mid lane is looking not too healthy either. Slark on his way out. He can turn around and fight reasonably well right now, especially with Shadow Razor coming in for the assist. Malum going to get hit with that Blood Right now, going to get chased down by the Seeker. Falling just short of that, though, Quista's now going to disengage. He will be back up to full HP in no time. Slash Strike, he's going to charge forward, looking for a bash. Couple more hits, we'll get the kill on the Lina. Mid lane still being worked down, though, by the Slark. Slash Strike, he is going to get Yules up in the air, and he should be dropping relatively shortly. Yes, he will. No buyback. Actually, no, there's buyback on the TA. We'll use that immediately. Buyback on the Omnite as well. Over towards mid should be the focal point of the fight. Those Scary Faces, they're slowly but surely getting more and more kills than House of Gamers, plus Raxes. Like, when you have a Shadow Demon zoning out the entire team, and well, Quista and State, they're just going for the Raxes. This is looking like it's game. And House of Gamers, they just don't have enough to scrape together a convincing fight. And Scary Faces, they're just messing around at this point. They're just fighting because they can. Fortification not going to do jack. Once this Rax falls, that's it's all over. No chance that House Gamers can defend up against Mega Creeps just by themselves, I think. If it's just Megas, like, they won't be able to do it. That's a nice Burrow Strike and nice spill from the side blades, but need a little bit more than that if they're actually going to take this game. Illusionist now getting focused down by Quista, where Shadow Razor trying to bail out from Slash Strike. Looks like he will barely get out of there, maybe. A couple more right clicks, plus the Purge. Shadow Razor going to take a fall. Quista's still alive, Eknar's still alive, and they'll all retreat. Now Mega's going to start flooding the base of House of Gamers. I don't think House of Gamers can defend against Megas, as I just said. Glimpse, Eknart was so close. So close, man.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
But yeah, you can't defend against Megas. You can't defend against Megas and the Scary Face heroes. Doom Push is their best bet, but the Doom Push is going to be slow. And I mean slow. Like, they're maybe going to get this tier 2 tower, if they're very lucky. Because the Moment has nothing to hold up against those Megas. Actually, these are only supers still, so here comes the Megas. You can't hold up against these guys. They're a little bit too buff. They've been to the gym. They've been lifting. Yes, Megas even lift. Grazine is going to get pounced upon, bashing a couple times, and they don't even get the tower. That is sad times right there. Bloodseeker's not alive, so they don't see Slash Strike. But maybe they're going to see him anyway. No, there's no Blink Dagger. Oh, there is a Blink Dagger from Slark. He's going to blink up to the high ground, catch Slash Strike, kill him off in a hurry. No TA now. And they're going to find Malum as well, because why the hell not? Yule Scepter. That was not the item that he wanted to use. Yule Scepter was not the correct item there. But they don't get him. Sad, sad times, Scary Faces. Could have had 51 to 23 instead of just 50. And now it's down towards the mid lane. It should be, at least. For everyone. Maybe. Honestly, they could just sit back and chill in their fountain. Because they won, but House of Gamers, they're still fighting for some reason. And there's looks like actually no way that House of Gamers can recover in this game. Like, actually no way. There are like, outside of like huge meteorological disasters, that represents their biggest bet, their best bet. Static Storm's gonna drop into a bash. He has a BKB and he has the pure damage Laguna Blade. A moment, run away! Oh man, that was close. Almost got like a straight 100 to 0'd by the Lina. First strike gonna connect into a couple creeps. Quist is gonna go to town, Illusionist. And Anti-Mage is also in a bubble. He will pop right back out and die. GG is called, and we are on our way to game 2, guys. It was a slow and painful game with a lot of farming and not much of anything really from House of Gamers, but hopefully for their sake we'll be seeing a better performance from them in game number 2, because this game was rather disappointing. Starting out with really bad lanes and then making one too many bad decisions, getting picked off, and well, we're going to be seeing if they can turn around game number 2. I'm Mike Loris. I'll be right back with game 2, guys. Don't go anywhere.